Right now I am trying to hide sins with this floor sealant. And I am in the mystery building that you guys have mentioned in the comments. It's been in the background of my last couple of episodes. And I am gonna tell you all about this building, as well as some other developments around my property, because there's been a lot that you've missed out on that I just haven't been able to film. So today, I'm gonna bring you up to speed about everything that's going on my land. I'll let that dry, and before we get to this cabin, let me show you around. It is a very windy day today. Wow. All right. I'll explain this chaos in a little bit, but first let me give you a little Airstream update. So, walking over to the Airstream, the first thing you notice is I have an old fridge sitting beside the Airstream. And actually what you might notice is my property right now feels like a hoarder property. I have little things all over the place getting ready for steps of the build that are a couple steps further than where I am now. So right now it feels like there's a lot of just junk all over the place. It's a little bit overwhelming, but let me introduce you to the chaos. So this is a fridge that I actually picked up over a month ago, and it was no easy feat. It is a 50s fridge in perfect order, and it took over a week for it to thaw, and I am not kidding you. There was ice blocks in the freezer that over 1 week later, I finally opened the door, pulled the ice blocks out, and threw on the ground as it was sitting outside here. So these old fridges are wildly efficient in some ways, and obviously not in other ways. And I'm counting on that efficiency to make this make sense off the grid. I'll get more into the fridge and why I think that this is gonna work off the grid in a future episode when I install the fridge, because I'm actually really enthusiastic about this concept of having a vintage appliance in my Airstream off the grid, but I'll get into that later. Look at this, chaos everywhere. So coming into the Airstream, more chaos. So the Airstream build is something that I really thought I would start a lot earlier than now, but it finally is starting this week. What it has been for me is a place to set up my laptop there, and now newly, a place to set up my desktop there. So this has just been like an editing, computer work building, which is not what it was intended for, but sometimes life gets busy and that's okay. So currently I have 2 very heavy butcher block countertops, and spoiler alert, that is the first thing I'm going to be installing here in the Airstream, because I cannot wait to have the start of a kitchen. So we're gonna get right to that in the next episode. But for now, I've actually beefed up my outdoor kitchen a fair bit, I will say, and it's been treating me really well. I will give you a full tour of the Airstream and everything that I have planned for it very soon. Here is just a glance of the Airstream and the condition that she's in right now. So much work to do, lots of cleaning and then lots of renovating. I have so many big plans for this Airstream, and none of them include a bathroom or a bedroom. This Airstream is entirely gonna be a kitchen and living room slash hookah lounge. It's ridiculous to say out loud, but that's what this is gonna be, and I'm gonna explain the really cool layout I have in mind in the next episode when we actually get started. But yeah, here she is. It's been a good office for me so far, honestly. I really can't complain. And it's pretty cool in here. I think that the metal actually helps a lot with that. And then the cross breeze is also really nice. But I feel like I could ramble on about the Airstream a lot, yet I really want to save it for next episode. So let me show you my outdoor kitchen, and you can kind of see how I've just been living my daily life out here on this raw land, because life with just dirt to begin with is a little bit challenging, and it's kind of just been like a long camping trip with a bunch of random pieces of what feel like junk laying around. This is a beautiful stove. I will uncover it soon. But like I said, I feel like a hoarder, I say, as we're passing a pile of terracotta tiles that got knocked over by cows. Messy, chaotic, but that's the reality I'm living in right now. Let me show you. This was the craziest terracotta score, and I am so happy. And I foolishly stacked it all nicely. And then the cows came. These ones are from Spain and Germany, and these ones are from Brazil. And I have always wanted terracotta tiles. So I am so looking forward to installing those. I got them from an estate sale from an old couple who bought them back in the early 80s and just never got around to installing them. So score! Now this is a lot of lumber that I purchased with the intentions of building a bathroom. That is not happening this summer. There's no way I have time for that. All right, like I said, more on the cabin in a moment, but here's the power shed. We're still at a bit of a standstill until I get my new panels, but she works well. I'm getting power, never running out. And then this is home sweet home. We've got the bowler and the new outdoor kitchen and laundry drying. I've got packages everywhere, a brand new sink for install, propane I have to refill, hot water on demand. This is such an interesting way of living, but that's okay. I know that everything will settle, but for now, this is how I'm living, and it is what it is. This is the setup, and the gazebo is very new for me. I set up the gazebo a couple days ago, and this morning brought this lounger in here, and it's nice and shady on this spot in the morning, so I had a good time on my laptop checking some messages and sending out some emails, sipping my coffee. So I feel like the gazebo overall is a good choice. However, I've got some pretty big issues with it, and I'm gonna show you. Do you spot the problems? How about now? That is right. My gazebo is somewhat of a bug attractant, not repellent. So even when I had the screen doors shut, there is so much gapping at the base of the gazebo that they come in, they get stuck, and then they all come to this corner. So I have some figuring out to do in order to make this comfortable. But for now, I am just embracing the bugs. At least I have some shade to cook in. And this is my little cooking setup. I really love to cook. It is a little bit hard to get by with just a 2-burner stove, but I am making it work and kind of thriving, I'd say. Let me show you the life in here. So cooking here, washing up here. I even have my outdoor bathroom things like toothbrush, face wash, that type of stuff here. So in the morning, I can wash my face, brush my teeth, and I actually get water down here like this. And then I will either put it in here if I'm using this basin, or bring it over to cook. But actually this system works very well for me. It's a humble little system, but I'm having no problems. Dishes are always clean. I always have water, and I feel pretty set up in here. So even though it's a humble little kitchen, I'm loving it. And of course, I just leave my dishes on the drying rack because that's practical. And then my sweet little bowler, you have seen her before in another episode. I don't want to show the inside of the bowler right now. And she's full of clothes right now. Okay, clothes and things. So you can check her out in a different episode. I'll link it at the end if you want the full tour of my sweet Pam. That's her name. And then what else? You've seen the greenhouse slash storage shed. And that is just up here on the top shelf back there. And then that brings us to this mystery cabin. And this mystery cabin is my bedroom cabin. And it will not live here. I'm actually going to be moving it closer to the Airstream once it's ready. But for now, she's out here and it is chaos. Just gonna share my chaos with you. Stunning, beautiful, spectacular. So this is a 16 by 12 cabin on skids with a crazy roof line, because once I place this bedroom cabin where it's gonna go, I've got some fun plans for under this covering. So that is what I'm dealing with here. And on the outside, I have a tarp, even though I have Tyvek on the roof. And the reason I have a tarp is because I had an insane windstorm and I'm new to all this and I did not install the Tyvek as well as I should have, and it tore it up badly. So yeah, 1 step forward, 2 steps back is sort of how it feels, but I have to remind myself I've only been out here for a couple months and there's a lot already that's happened. So even though it feels like I'm going backwards, good things are happening. I'm moving forward. It's just a lot, and these little extra problems take up a lot of time and they don't film well, so it is what it is. And then coming into the cabin through the front door, we have my bedroom. So coming in through the front door, it's funny giving a tour to a building that's not even close to being done. But coming in through the front door, I will have an area for jackets here. I also decided after we framed this that I would be putting a window in here. So I'm gonna have a little window area here. And then over here, I will put a fireplace. And I have not found the perfect fireplace yet, but I would like for it to be the type that hangs and doesn't touch the ground. Cross your fingers for me. I think those are very hard to find and I refuse to spend stupid money for a new one. So I will wait. I will have no fireplace until I find the right one. And then coming into the bedroom some more. This is my big old window that will be overlooking actually like the river area once I move the cabin. And then sliding glass door. Probably I'll put a little deck there, but this is what I'm working with. So the flooring is actually still just subfloor, and I will be putting some wonderful flooring as soon as I can, but I feel like I'm perhaps somewhat of a realist. I'm learning things are taking a lot longer than I expected, which is totally fine. I'm here for the long run, but I'm not gonna be able to do the floor this year, I don't think. So what I ended up doing was I went to Home Depot, and in their oopsie shelf of mismatched paint, there was this floor cover paint. So this is my version of trying to make a kind of rough situation pretty, and I think I did a really good job actually. I ended up mixing up some mica and blending it in here because I wanted sort of like a stone look, even though it obviously is on plywood, but my mom thinks it's like a Tuscany stone, which makes me like it even more. So flooring is done, and like for now, the temporary flooring, and then I will finish off this gaping hole in the wall. And basically just the goal is to mosquito proof this cabin, and then maybe I'll do the insulation, I'm not sure, and then to leave it for winter so that I have lots of fun projects to work on during the winter in the shelter so that I can be constantly productive and warm. So for now, the goal is to make this bare bones livable. That way I can put a bed in here and I can sleep in a bed. I'm so excited for that. You don't even know how excited I am, because sleeping in a 13-foot bowler, no matter how comfy she is starting to be a little bit taxing on my body, not gonna lie. So it's gonna be really nice to have like some real support while I'm sleeping and some space around my head. And I love my bowler so much, but I am so excited to not have to sleep in her every single night. And yeah, this is my bedroom cabin. I've never been a homeowner, and this is certainly not like a home. This feels really awesome to have walls and a roof that are mine on dirt that is mine. I love it. And then I think the big question that I seem to be getting in my comments a fair bit is, why did I not share this build with you so far? And rest assured, I will be sharing as much of the rest of the build as I can moving forward. But this was sort of like a sweet family only thing where my family was teaching me the basics of building, and it was very much like a wholesome thing that I didn't really feel like filming. So I won't be doing that around the property very much. This was an exception. And I'm really happy I had that time because it was very informative, and I do feel like I learned a lot of the absolute bare bone basics, and now I get to put it to the test and finish off everything else myself. So I was taught the basics, and now I am set free and get to deal with the rest of this with you guys here. And it's probably gonna be a little bit chaotic because it's all very new for me, but that's okay, it's part of the fun. So there we go. This is, whew, she's windy. This is my life out here as of today, middle of July. not too bad, not too bad. Since I only got here a couple months ago, I'm pretty happy, and I have to remind myself, good things have been happening and good things will continue to happen. And it's overwhelming. It's very overwhelming, but what an incredible privilege it is to be able to just build my dream out here on this land. So this is my update. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you have any suggestions for the property at all. I know you probably do, and they're probably awesome. A lot of times you guys have really helpful tips and tricks. So keep them up. I really respect what you guys have to say, and I'm really grateful that you're joining me on this journey out here. So thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you in the next one.